If you'd like to see more of our videos, hit the subscribe button to stay on top.
Good morning,
of the market
traders.
news.
Welcome to today's market review. This is Razak at CMtrading. Today's October 13, 2020. And today is Wednesday morning, so looking at the highlights of the day, the FANG stocks plus Microsoft lift the markets higher. But first, looking at the economic events today, nothing scheduled once again for today, but looking at the Forex symbols, we saw the Aussie Dollar actually retrace versus the USD, bringing some of the other majors down as well. Looking at the indices, the NASDAQ picks up on some steam and leads the market higher, while the Dow Jones follows as well. The exact reverse as yesterday. Looking at the commodities, gold kind of falters and doesn't sustain some of the momentum. Oil is slightly down as well. And lastly, looking at the stocks, Jpmorgan is coming out with earnings this afternoon before the open in the U.S. That is a major number as the markets have been trading higher. The markets have been exploding due to the FANG stocks plus Microsoft. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So we're going to first start out with the Eur Usd at a daily chart. You can see pretty much we haven't been doing much, okay, in the Forex symbols over the past month. Yes, there have been like maybe a week or 2 weeks that have really out of the month have been some decent kind of exposure and volatility, but altogether we've been really in a tight range, as you can see that right there. Okay, we've been trading between the 1838-ish level and 1757-ish levels. That's a 60 to 70 pip real range that we've been in over 2 weeks. So that's really has been a little bit difficult to trade. Looking at the Aussie dollar, tomorrow it's coming out with unemployment numbers, and this is where it's standing right now, retracing from that 72.45-ish level down to 71.83-ish level. Okay, a decent move, but again, nothing to really write home about. Okay, what might be of interest is the GBP USD as it goes into Brexit. Let's see if this finally takes it and continues going higher. It's got to sustain this nice momentum that it's had, okay, over the past, I would say, month or almost a month since we consolidated down at this 126-ish level. Now jumping into commodities, let's start with gold. Gold there is trading at 1914, down about $20 from its high of 1933, as we've, kind of retraced from our nice little rally that we had over the last week. Okay, so nothing really to write home about. We are sitting on support-ish area, I would call it. Okay, if I was going to draw a line right here, this would be a support-ish area. I wouldn't say that it's a massive support-ish area right here, but it is a support-ish area as it did try to break it higher, and previously we did touch on it. Okay, so this is a minor supportish area right here, so I would expect it to bounce off of this area in the anticipation that there's going to be some future buying in it. However, as we're going into these markets, the markets are really trading erratically as we're entering closer to the election time. Okay, now President Trump yesterday said that he's over COVID, over coronavirus, so that's good news, and the market did act accordingly, right? The markets did rally. Looking at oil right now, really choppy market between 41.55, a nice little move on the downside. If you're able to catch it, that's great. But altogether, we are trading in the extremities, okay, selling off at 40, anywhere above 41.20-ish level is a short, anywhere below 38.75 is a buy for all intents and purposes. Okay, so we're still in that tight range. Okay, but looking at the NASDAQ, look at that. That's a 1 hour chart. Let's look at a 4 hour chart. We broke it higher yesterday at the 11,575. This was the area to really catch this up. Okay, once we broke it, and I did mention that Amazon was showing momentum on the upside. If you look at our market review yesterday, you'll see that we did say that. Okay, and that was the leader of the pack that blew this out of proportion. And look at where we are at 12,105. We're only about shy 300 points, 350 points from our all-time highs, and it does look like it's going to break it. Looking at the Dow Jones, also trading to 28,800-ish level, but then giving it up a little bit there. Okay, but altogether, this is a bona fide buying area. Okay, aggressively bona fide buying area. Now, I'm a little bit concerned about this. My target is 29,100-ish level. Okay, remember, we did hit a high of that at the beginning of September. So something to consider if we do close that gap up, okay? So consider that as we continue trading this later today. Now looking at Apple, one of the leaders here to 122. Remember, it's all-time high before, or you take it into consideration that it's a 4-for-1 split. Its all-time highs is 132. So we're only about 10 points away from that, okay? Before its 4-for-1 split, that would be about 40 points off of its all-time highs when it was trading in the 400 range. So really not much of a retracement there still, okay, from our all-time highs. Now looking at Facebook, we did get that breakout. Nice little breakout yesterday, a gap and go. We're retracing back to our support line. Microsoft also broke that finally, that 215 that we've been so aggressively trying to break, okay? And then finally breaking it. This does look like a head and shoulders right here. If you look at it very nicely, that's your head, that's one shoulder, and that's your subsequent shoulder. It's a little bit more difficult because we did have this area once before, and you know, altogether retracing back to almost the neckline. So you know, it wasn't a slam dunk head and shoulders, let's just say. Okay, a little bit harder to really see this because it did trade within a range for quite some time between the 200 and 215-ish area. But nice to see it actually break out. In anticipation, it's going to continue breaking out later today. Now, looking at Jpmorgan, all right, we're trading at that 102 line, okay? Our next resistance spot is that previous trend line that we had, okay, that we broke it back at the middle of September. So that is really my go-to here, okay? Now, it's going to be kind of interesting how Jpmorgan actually comes out with these earnings reports later today. Let's see how it comes out, okay? I do think there will be some pleasant surprises despite the fact that we've been in a pandemic. I think most of the economy has been still working accordingly and on schedule. So keep that in mind as this comes out later today. Okay, this will be a point of reference, will be an important trade for sure. Okay, this is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.